Hi, it's Jamie Smart here, and I wanted to share some information with you that's had a profound impact for me. It's really making a big difference for my clients, and I invite you to listen to this kind of like you listen to music. And I wanted to start with a story, and the story is about the Lumiere brothers. And the Lumiere brothers are reputed to have shown the first ever public screening of a motion picture back in France many years ago. And the film they showed was a train pulling into a station. So like if you imagine the train coming towards you, and everyone arrived and they're very excited and they're sitting in their seats, and it's one of those old jerky black and white films. It only lasted a minute and a half long, but when they played the film, apparently the audience went crazy. People were running screaming from the cinema. People were freaking out. Why? Because they didn't understand the nature of movies. Like, it's easy for us not to remember when we watch a movie or a TV show that it's actually an illusion that we buy into. But because we understand the nature of movies, we don't notice it and we don't treat them as real. But those people, it was the first time they'd ever seen such an illusion, and they responded to it by freaking out, just like little kids will when they first see a movie. And it got me to thinking, see, we imagine a river, from upstream to downstream. On one level, in the world of form, if a train's actually coming towards you, it's a great idea to get out of the way. Because it can squish you, it can run over your foot or something. So in the world of form, get out of the way. But Sigmund Freud came along, 100 or so years ago, and he noticed that his clients, they were very well off, they were very well to do, but they were still having problems. There were no issues with the forms of their lives. But he thought, the problem is the content of their thinking and the dark submerged masses of what's in their imaginations and in their unconscious. And so at the level of content, we can make changes. So for instance, changing the content, if you're watching a movie, changing it from a movie of a train to a movie of some balls bouncing or a rabbit playing or whatever, might be a less threatening piece of content. We can change the channel. Then NLP, another positive psychology type stuff, comes along and says it's not the content, it's the structure. Change the structure and you change the experience. So that's like run the movie backwards, play funny music over it, push it further away, bring it closer. When you change the structure of something, it impacts your experience. And people have this where they're thinking with their thinking. So they learn to, play with the structure of their thinking and things change. Well, there's a fourth level, beyond content, beyond structure. And that's the level of understanding. And when I say understanding, I don't mean intellectual understanding. With a little kid, if you show them a movie, you can say to them, hey, it's just a movie. They can know that intellectually, but they're still having an emotional response, a physical response. What I'm talking about is embodied understanding. Because when you deeply understand that it's just a movie, you don't need to change the content. You don't need to change the structure, because you really, really get that it's just a movie. So I'm not talking about saying to yourself, it's just a movie, it's just a movie. I'm talking about really seeing that it's just a movie. And it's the same with your thinking. If a person's thinking is freaking them out, the only reason it's really freaking them out is because they think that it's real. And so they can change the content, or they can play with the structure and reframe it, or do all of that stuff. But the moment you see, it's just your thinking. The moment you genuinely understand that, then everything can change. You can have an insight. You can see the world differently. And when you see the world differently, then you behave differently. Thanks for listening.